All kinds of good stuff. Get this and more with NASCAR.com's Race View now for half the price. Check it out at NASCAR.com/raceview. We're here at Michigan.
That was cool.
94 laps complete. Jimmy Johnson continues to lead.
Yeah, but, you know, there's some guys catching up a little bit, I think, making adjustments, and now they're running just as fast or pretty close to the 48 car, Biffle being one of them. Edwards is another one.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been looking at, you know, following the times every lap, and there's 2 or 3 guys right now that are right there with Johnson. If they can get the track position, it's going to get good.
And that's kind of the way the race was at Pocono last week. Johnson could jump out front, but you give it halfway through a stop or towards the end of the stop. Here come those Roush guys. Here come the 16 of Biffle. Here come the 99 of Carl Edwards. So when you looked at it, they were better for the long run. But that 48 and Jimmy Johnson and Chad, they're just hard to beat. If you get it, you want to do a 15-20 lap shootout, they're your guys right now, man, because they kill you for 14 or 15, 20 laps.
We're getting close to pit stops. Let's check on a couple of these guys. Matt, you got the Biff?
Bill, the Biff currently runs in the second position. He's about 3 seconds back of leader Jimmy Johnson. Biffle feels like they're about 1 adjustment away from being as good or better than Jimmy Johnson. He's still a little bit on the free side, and about 4 laps ago, something they've been hoping for a while finally took place. The sun came out.
Very good. So Biffle runs second. Montoya's in third. Lindsay, you're watching him, right?
Yeah, I am, Bill, and he's saying right now he wants a little bit more forward bite in this car, but it's interesting too because he's obviously been running up front all day long, and I talked to him just before this race. He told me the million-dollar question is going to be what happens when the sun comes out like this? How much is it going to change the track? What do you guys think?
Boy.
His car looks good right now. I mean, you know, watching him go through the corners, I mean, he looks like he's got a good car, and he's looked like I said earlier, it looked that way all weekend.
Yeah, and this is a great team. Think about how bad they looked last week to how good they look this week.
Yeah.
In 7 days, these guys have turned the program around to being, and also ran there, to being a factor right here.
Ralph, I know you got your hands full. What's the latest on Earnhardt Jr.?
Well, it's just kind of interesting. He was talking about the safer barrier over in turn 2, and Wally and Kyle, you guys have put in a lot of laps here. He was talking about how before the safer barrier was there, when you could get all the way up around the edge of the racetrack over there, the track would change as you came off of turn 2 and could actually use that to your advantage. And now with that safer barrier sticking out, what is that, about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet, and it's taken that line away.
And that's at a lot of racetracks. And probably all the racetracks that they put the safer barrier.
Yeah, almost everywhere where they put the safer barrier, it comes out, and it's hard to blend it back in without taking the racetrack away. But let me tell you something. I'll give you that racetrack every day of the week to have that safer barrier. And Junior will, too. All he's saying is, it was a place I used to run, and now I can't run there.
Carl Edwards has gained 20 positions since the start of the race. Marty, what's the latest?
And since this run, Bill, he's gained several positions as well. Keep an eye on this 99 car. Listen to the changes on the last stop. Down on the track bar, half pound out of the right rear tire, and 1 rounded wedge in the left rear, all to fix a very loose race car. Carl said at the beginning of this run, I can tell already, guys, much better. Extremely happy. He's one of those guys moving toward the front off turn 2. Here was his quote. It's perfect. Don't touch anything there.
Love it when the driver says perfect. When that man gets to the line, we'll be halfway here at Michigan, and then we're going to go through pit stops, see if they come under green or if the caution comes out. You're watching the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Michigan on TNT. Moments that changed the game, brought to you by Viagra. Martinsville Speedway on a scorching day in 1998. Ricky Rudd overcomes high temperatures and a faulty cooling system, suffering burns over parts of his body to win the race. He was the last owner-driver to win a Sprint Cup race until Tony Stewart won last week at Pocono. They ran out of ice bags that day, and they took Linda Rudd's makeup kit and put ice in that, dumped it out and put ice in that, as I recall, and fed it to Ricky through the window.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I want you, if you see that footage of a guy like that guy drove all day long and was that exhausted at the end of the day to do that. You don't see that much anymore because of the technology and the cool suits and the water systems that they have and the things, the hydration systems they have are so much better.
Here's a story that's been developing. It's driver Denny Hamlin and it's reporter Marty Snyder.
Yeah, guys, Denny Hamlin was extremely loose on the run before this one. Wanted to run the high line, and he couldn't get up there. So Mike Ford decided to make some sweeping changes, added a spring rubber to the left rear spring, a pound of air to the left rear tire, and that has made this 11 car come to life. Mike told me this morning, I'm tired of winning practice. I want to see something in the race. Expect us to be very aggressive with our changes. Second stop of the day. That's what they did, and it really helped out this 11 car.
And that's interesting, because I just had somebody Twitter me on why, after a green stop, do people that are already loose continue to get looser? And the answer is, under a green stop, you can't make major changes like that. You heard all the things that Mike Ford, but as you see the car coming off the corner, obviously they don't have it perfect yet. But
you think?
But at the same time, you just heard him talk about all the changes they made to that 11 car. They can do that under caution. You do that under green, you're going to go a lap down.
That's 9th place. Check that. That's not 9th place. That's better than that. Kurt Busch is 6th, and Carl is 7th. Busch in that Miller Lite Dodge and the LifeLock Ford for Carl Edwards.
This is the part I always like, when the guys get to the corner and one goes high and one goes low, and you think that guy's just going to drive by, you know what I mean? And it takes that outside. You see the two car comes off. He can't get as good a forward bite right now, but he gives him a little room.
Yeah, I think he probably gave him a little break there.
Here's a field summary brought to you by Burger King. Jimmy Johnson has led 98 laps. So a virtual lock to lead the most laps here this afternoon. 4 cars are out of the race. And right now there are 23 cars scored on the lead lap. It's our Burger King field summary. Now, just so you know, the leader of the most laps at Michigan has won 4 of the last 5. The last guy that didn't do it, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. Wow. And this is what's happened to the one car. I have a couple people ask what's going on with the one car. He's gotten in a wall at some point in time, and NASCAR has black flagged him because the back of the car is flapping around, and you see him putting it on. Marty?
Yeah, Kyle, he's hit the wall, and this is actually the second stop. As you said, NASCAR black flagged him this time to fix the paneling behind the right rear tire. Martin obviously a little frustrated. They had a very good car yesterday in practice. A little scrape of the wall here, though, losing a lot of time on pit road.
Yeah, he's already, 4 laps down.
There's Johnson going by. Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Jeff Gordon in the 24. Earnhardt is 10th. Gordon is 11th. And Earnhardt Jr. has gained 20 positions since the start of the race. Didn't have the good qualifying run. Started in the 30th spot. Earnhardt's car's been... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's another situation where Earnhardt could see that Jeff was a little bit quicker, so he cut him some slack, just like I think Kurt Busch did.
Larry, you were keeping a close eye on that 11 car, weren't you?
Yeah, I was real curious until Marty gave the report why they lost 8 positions on that last stop. But what they did when they pulled the left rear tire off, they took the spring rubber. It's about a half of a piece of black rubber. And all that tire changer did when he had the tire off, he just shoved it in the spring like that. It doesn't take that long, but when the competition is good as it is on pit road, that equates to losing 8 positions. But what that will do, Bill, it stiffens its left rear spring. That way, when Denny picks the throttle up off the corner, it helps keep wedge in the car where it's not so loose and he can stay in the throttle.
It's pretty toasty under there, too, isn't it, Larry?
Yes, it is. It's hot and people screaming and everything else is going on.
There's Denny Hamlin battling with Kurt Busch for a position. He takes it, and that's 7th. I can tell you that A.J. Allmendinger has gone to the garage with right side damage.
And we saw him get into the wall a couple of times early in the race before the groove was really worked in. He was up there trying to run it in and just knocked the wall. And a lot of times it doesn't do any damage, but you do it repeatedly. Eventually you knock that rear end out of line and it's over to the left. And then you want to talk about a bad driving race car.
Lap is 1:11, 89 to go.
Somebody out there is asking, when's this thing going to be over?
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
Asking what lap it is.
Carl Edwards, Casey Kane. Boy, everybody's still chasing Jimmy Johnson. He has led 103 laps, and pit stops should be coming up when we come back.